Hi y'all! This week I had a crack at crocheting 5 of the most popular crochet coaster patterns on YouTube. Whoa, that was a mouthful. Let's get started. The first pattern is by Bella Coco. It has 6.8 million views today. It's about 15 minutes long, so hopefully it doesn't take too long to actually crochet. I am using this yarn from my stash. It's 8-ply acrylic yarn from Spotlight. I am using a 4.25mm hook. In the video, she used a Stylecraft special double knit acrylic yarn, which turns out to mean the same thing as 8-ply, and a 4mm hook. So pretty on par with what I used really. Anywho, I'm getting distracted. Let's get started for real. Am I the only one who feels like a beginner again when I do this? Also, do you guys use the UK or the US terms? I use US. It just makes more sense to me.
Okay.
Only 2 minutes in and already losing count. Anywho, I have to lock in for the 19 trebles. This is how fast I think I am crocheting on a daily basis. If you know, you know. It's the end of the first round and I just realized I forgot to tuck in the loose thread as per the video. Guys, I do not know why I keep forgetting to yarn over. This is the 3rd time. Man, I've been struggling with my yarn this whole time. Finally, it has given up on me. It's all tangled. Bear with me while I try and untangle this mess. Okay, it's done. Y'all, I feel like all the lines are blending into one. I should have used a stitch marker. Guys, I think I've made a mistake somewhere. Why do I only have one of these? Bear with me while I try to figure this out. I think I am going to just pretend that's not there and continue and finish this off with the scallop edge. I think it's very fitting that I use these scissors with triumph written on it because this feels like a triumph. Now, gotta weave the ends through. This is one of the most things I hate doing in crocheting and knitting. I am trying not to step myself here. Guys, I need to invest in an actual yarn needle because what in the world is this? Putting that aside, this is probably the only project I'll weave my loose thread in properly. And we're done, guys. I forgot to time this, but I would say it took about 30 minutes, including the pauses and the rewinds, which I think is pretty good for a project like this. I think after making about 10 of these, I'll probably be able to do it in about 10 to 15 minutes. Delusional, I know. Anyways, I would rate this 8 out of 10 for design. In terms of technique, it is very simple and easy to do. I would recommend this for a beginner. Okay, on to the next coaster. This is Super Easy Crochet by Hannah Crochet. The video is 18 minutes and it seems to not have a voiceover, so I'll have to concentrate a bit harder. I really hope my coaster looks as good as that at the end. They use cotton yarn and a 2mm hook. I am going to use 2.25mm hook and 8-ply yarn that I used in the first coaster. Now, before you all come at me, I know it's probably not the appropriate hook size for this yarn, but I think it'll help this to be neat and compact. Now remember how I had trouble with the yarn earlier? I had to wind all this yarn off camera. Hopefully it makes things easier this time round. Let's start for real. I am so happy there's a magic ring for this pattern. Magic ring is one of those things I struggled with for years, but when I finally understood it, it was the best feeling ever. I honestly have a god complex over this. Yo, the needle is so thin. I'm scared it's going to snap. Also, it is such a struggle to get this tiny needle through the yarn. Maybe this was a bad idea, guys. But it looks so neat and compact though. The sacrifices we make. I'm struggling to pull this through to make a circle. Send help. The thing about crochet is that you have to concentrate hard. There's so much counting involved. If you lose a count, everything will be pear-shaped. Second round is done, and now I have to continue making the circle wider. Actually, do you guys count the magic ring round as round 1 or round 0? I count it as round 1.
Okay.
I have to count once again, so I won't bore you guys. Ugh, I feel so dumb. This was supposed to be the darker color, so everything is going to be opposite for my coaster. But we're in it now, and honestly, I cannot be bothered to redo it. I had to go off camera for a bit. Look at how neat that looks. Maybe the smaller needle is it. We're getting there, guys, but this yarn keeps getting tangled. Honestly, if anyone has any recommendations for a yarn holder and winder, please let me know. I cannot continue with this. Okay, let's do the first heart. I have to really focus here. It's so tight, I have to use a different technique. As we know, all things beautiful takes time, or something like that. The number of times I rewinded and paused this video was too much. Eventually, I got it though. Guys, I'm starting to lose it. After 10 of these heart-shaped shrimp-looking things, I finally feel like I made my perfect heart. Look at it!
Look at it!
I'm absolutely spent, guys. I have to do a bit more and I'll be done. You can tell I am getting over it here. I started pulling the wrong thread. I'm not finished yet. I still need to do the border around it. I did it! This was definitely challenging. I had to take multiple breaks. It kind of looks like shrimp. Maybe it's just me. Do you think that if I did the opposite color, like Hannah's crochet video, it would look more like hearts? Now, I would rate this design a maybe 9.5 out of 10. In terms of technique, the heart things, I found them a bit difficult to do. So maybe I would say intermediate difficulty or moderate difficulty. It's definitely for someone who is advanced beginner / intermediate at crocheting. I wouldn't say it's super easy, but maybe that's just me and I need more practice. But yeah, I would do more of these if I had maybe 12 months to do and do one per month. Anyways, let's move on to the next coaster. Hopefully it's not as hard as this one. Now we're doing this leafy amazing coaster by Knitting Life. It is labeled as super easy and very useful. Hopefully that checks out. I used the same ply yarn as before, but this time instead of pink, I am using green. The start of this coaster is similar to the last coaster I did, so I won't spend too much time on it. I will start straight up with a leaf, or is it a petal? It's green, so surely it's a leaf? What do you think? Is it a leaf or petal? Let me know. It's still struggle street with this tiny wee 2 hook and this thick as yarn. My fingers are suffering. You probably can't see well by the angle, but my fingertips are red. I think I need to use a thimble, bandage, or something to prevent this. I might end up with calluses on my fingertips by the end of this video. Anyway, I had to change the scenery, so I went outside to crochet. I didn't record mainly because I just wanted some fresh air and time outside with no distractions. So here's all I've done now. I am almost there. Here it is, guys. It is done. It took me such a long time actually. I think maybe 2 hours in total. It's just the leaves / petal part. It requires a lot of concentration. My fingertips are absolutely killing me. Maybe it is because I used acrylic yarn instead of cotton. I do know cotton glides a bit easier on a crochet hook, but I gotta use my yarn stash. That's one of my goals this year. I am not going to buy more yarn until I've used almost, if not all of my yarn. I digress. Now let's move on to the ratings. Ooh. Design, 9.8 out of 10. Difficulty, moderate. Like the previous one, I think it's good for an experienced beginner to intermediate crocheter. Okay, let's move on to the next one. This is Wow Costa by Knitting Love. I wonder if they're related to Knitting Life. I mean, their instrumentation and execution is similar. Anyways, it is nighttime now. I decided once again to use 8-ply. I speak as if I have anything other than 8-ply yarn. Anyways, I lost my 2mm needle. Just kidding. I intentionally stuffed it into the back of my yarn stash so that I can never see it or use it again. So I'm using a 3.5mm hook instead. Hopefully my fingers will not hurt as much this time. So this pattern looks like a granny stitch. Can you believe I've never actually done a granny stitch before? So this will actually be interesting for me and hopefully less taxing on my fingers. I was obviously ready to go to bed here because I missed a whole round. Here I am trying to convince myself that I can continue. Then I tried to do the border anyways. Then I got even more delirious cause, guys, this looks like an abstract toast, right? So I went to bed. The next morning, I woke up with a clearer mind and a new perspective on life and realized I had to frog this and add that last round I missed. So I did that. Guys, don't you think this low-key looks like an abstract Elvis? With the sideburns and the hairdo? Maybe I'm still delirious from last night. Okay, it is done. It looks so much better now. Guys, please do not crucify me on how I deal with my loose threads. I know they'll probably unravel, but I'll deal with it when the time comes. Anyway, time for ratings. Design, I would say 7 out of 10. I think it's quite basic, which is fine. Difficulty was quite easy, especially the granny stitch. The border may be for a more seasoned beginner though, so I would definitely recommend for a beginner. Okay, last one. If you have made it this far, thank you so much for spending time with me. Now this one is the popular flower bouquet coaster by ETM's Studio. I've seen variations of this in the last year. Some people make flower bouquet blankets, but I do not have the energy for that right now. For this pattern, there are 2 options for the flowers. I am picking the Lily of the Valley one, and I am using a 3.5mm hook this time and same yarn size as before. ETM used different yarn size, but as we know by now, I do not like following the artist's recommendations. Just kidding. You're probably wondering why I'm doing this. I want to crochet, but I do not want to commit to a big project. And I also have a big yarn stash that I always replenish before it empties. So one day I was doom scrolling on Instagram, as we all do, and came upon a video on crochet coasters. So I thought, why don't I try different styles of crochet coasters and maybe I can be inspired and make a whole set that I can gift to someone. But do people even like crochet gifts? Or do they smile in our faces and then throw them out the next day? Anyways, it's the thought that counts, right? Well, that's what everyone says. So here we are. Let's finish this and decide which one looks good to make 5 more. I have run into the same problem as before. My yarn is a tangled mess, so I'm going to wind it up again. I am starting to think that I enjoy the discomfort because one would think by now I would have learnt my lesson and bought a yarn winder. Anyway, I stray again. I started to do the wrong flower. Let's try that again. It looks good. I messed up. I put it in the wrong place, but hopefully it won't be too noticeable. It's going well so far. I'm going to go off camera and smash this out. This looks so cute. Look at these flowers. I am so happy with it. I opted not to make a little flower pot for it though. Maybe if I choose this as the design, I might make a flower pot. I would rate the pattern 8 out of 10 and moderate difficulty, mainly for the flowers. Now for the final ranking. Overall, I like all the designs. The others were quite time consuming, but I think that's part of the experience. My favorite one is this one. Now, I don't know if I'll have the energy and discipline to make 5 more. I also do not want my fingers to cramp up from using the teeny tiny crochet hook. So, I don't know. What do you guys recommend I should do? Well, that's it for today. Thank you once again for being here. Let me know if you like this video. I welcome any recommendations of things I should try. Okay, bye for now.